Hi and welcome back to the course. Now you've probably heard the expression to fail to prepare is to prepare to fail. Well, that's not going to happen with you here with ChatGPT, because this session is going to cover all the preparation steps we need to ensure that we've got everything in place to enable us to create really powerful and compelling copy through ChatGPT. So the first thing we need to do is ensure that ChatGPT fully understands our customer. We have to build up that customer persona of Physio John. So let's go back to where we asked ChatGPT for the information on the pains and desires, etc. We're going back now to the area where I put a prompt in that said, tell me the most common needs, pain points, frustrations, motivations and behaviours of over 50s who are starting to get sore and stiff after physical activity. This, if you remember, is our target market. Now, I went back and I've actually done this again. This is a brand new session because if you remember, we had two different answers. We had one which had loads of bullet points, which was great, and one which had less bullet points but a little bit more information. And I thought, well, can I actually combine the two and get more bullet points and more information? And I think this probably is it. So I'm going to use this one to copy and add to Physio John's persona. So here's, I'm not going to show me copying and typing it in because it's it takes a while. So basically this is what I typed in, which is my prompt. It's quite a detailed prompt that, because it's everything in there. It looks different because of the way it's been formatted in ChatGPT. And there we are. It says, thank you for providing the details. So it's now got it, and it's now ahead of itself. It's now asking us to proceed with crafting a sales letter, but not quite yet. What we need to do is give it more information on our company, Agile Body, and indeed the system. If you remember, we asked ChatGPT to give us a name for a system that we could use, which was Renew. So let's go back to what ChatGPT have given us, find out what that is and copy it. So here we are where we found out our system is going to be called excuse me, Renew, Recovery, Enhance, Nourish, Empower, Wellness. I think that's brilliant. But this was a little bit, well, there wasn't a great deal of information in it. So offline, what I asked ChatGPT to do was add more information to it. So I said, refer back to the needs, pain points, frustrations, motivations and behaviours, which is, of course, what we've just copied into Physio John's persona. Okay, so I've typed in, here are the details of the system Renew. I'm going to copy and paste it, or paste it rather, and just add to it. And there we go. Okay, I've opened a different session on here because there's a lot of research to go through. I know we've done a lot of research earlier on, but this is specific to the preparation. It's part of the preparation, because it'd be unfair to ask ChatGPT to go and randomly write a sales letter without giving it some information on the kind of framework or structure we want it to write in. And there are some very, very successful frameworks, so that's what I'm going to ask ChatGPT about. So are you familiar with the different frameworks used by copywriters for the crafting of direct response sales letters? And of course it is, isn't it? Now these are very, very common structures. Now I'm familiar with all of those, but I will, if you're not familiar with them, I'm going to stop the scrolling here, so you can stop the video if you want to have a read of these. But remember, we don't always accept the first answer, so I've asked for 5 more. And here are 5 more. 1 or 2 I'm not totally familiar with, but again, great answers and great, that's 10 now. So we're probably thinking, ooh, that's a lot to go through, there's a lot to try and read up on, but you don't have to do that, because that is what ChatGPT is here for. So let's ask ChatGPT. Remember, this is a new session, it doesn't understand what about the physiotherapy centre just yet. So I am writing a sales letter to promote the opening of a new physiotherapy centre which targets over 50s that are no longer as agile as they once were. They are fully aware of their shortcomings and just want to get a solution to their problem by visiting the centre. Based on all the information you have, which are the best frameworks to use for the sales letter? So now, instead of guessing, we've given ChatGPT something to go on. So we can go back to its huge information database and say, actually, I think the best ones are these. So let's see what it comes up with. It's like the Oscars this, so which are the best 3? So problem, agitate, solution. I must admit that was the one that I was probably leaning towards rather, and it's the extension of it, so it's where you agitate it a little bit more. And that's sort of the common sense really, because it's a problem that the customer, the patient, already knows about, so you're just prodding it a little bit and saying, yeah, I know you've got this problem and this is all the things you can't do because of it, and here's what you can do if you use Agile Body's Renew system. There's a before after bridge. I think this is more for a diet or a health supplement specifically, where you're looking or you're physically seeing what it was before and you've got a physical after picture, for example, and a story, problem, solution. That is actually a really good one, a story one. It's one of my favourite ones, but for this particular exercise, unless you've actually got a very, very good and true story, then you can't really use this one. And I'm not going to make one up, that's unfair. And I would recommend you don't. If you've got a great story, that's a good one. But in this case, we haven't. So we will choose the PAS squared. And that's what we'll key in to ChatGPT in a moment on the preparation stage. The next thing we need to do is determine what copywriting style we could use, because just like the framework, once again, it'd be unfair just to throw it at ChatGPT and say, please write it, because ChatGPT itself, although it's acting as a direct response copywriter, it's looking through a huge database of information. So let's give it some guidance and try and find the style, the copywriting style that would be best suited, we think, for this. Well, actually, we don't have to do it. I've said this before. Let's ask ChatGPT to do it for us. So here we go. Here we go. I'm scrolling all over the place. Here we are. Are you familiar with any successful direct response writers who have experience and success in the market or similar markets whose style we could copy for the sales letter? You cannot ask ChatGPT for an opinion. So it says we don't have access to real-time data or specific information about current successful direct response copywriters. But it does have information on the copywriting styles in the past. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's unusual. It normally comes up with 5. Now, I'm familiar with all of these. Clayton Makepeace. Funny enough, Clayton Makepeace was... I always remember him... He died recently, bless him. I always remember him as a guy who did an awful lot in... I think it was the health or medical sphere. Seem to remember. Anyway, the most common one I think out of all of these is John Carlton. So I'm going to choose John Carlton. So I'm going to go back now to physio sales copywriting and suggest that it is the copywriter it is going to choose is John Carlton, and the style is PAS squared. So now I'm back in the preparation stage, the priming stage, and I've said when I ask you to write any copy for the sales letter, I want you to write it in the style of John Carlton and using the PAS squared solution framework. Do not start writing any copy just yet. Just confirm you understand these instructions. Yes, I understand you're writing copy. Good. He's not started writing. So, look where you are now. You've now got ChatGPT understanding your customer to the full. Physio John, remember. It understands the system you use, Renew, and how it works and how it meets all the needs and problems of your Physio John persona. You've given ChatGPT a full understanding and a full guidance of the structure you want the sales copy to be written in, or sales letter to be written in, which is the problem, agitate, solution squared. And you've also given an idea of the style you want it by suggesting it uses the style of an existing copywriter called John Carlton. You are now miles ahead of anybody else who's using ChatGPT. Very few, if any, people, I guarantee, will have put this much effort into building the foundations for creating a sales letter. And that's what we're going to do in the next session. You're going to learn how to finally use this information and create a really good sales letter, or any sales copy for that matter. So I'll see you over there.